It's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT. I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Alright, so I wanted to keep the tradition of covering Japanese boxing here on True School Sports going and just marching along because this morning in Japan, one of the fighters that I had the honor to meet, the pleasure to meet while I was out there in Japan this past May was none other than the Japanese 140-pound champion himself, Homura Fujita. He was making the second defense of his Japanese super lightweight title, taking on a 6'7" guy named Shoma Sekine, and I'm probably butchering his name, but that's how it looks, so that's how I'm gonna pronounce it. But yeah, 6'7". On paper, it was what it looked like. It was a good stay busy fight for Fujita. It was his third fight of the year and his third knockout of the year. He wound up getting a fourth round stoppage in the fight, and that's the one thing about Fujita that he's been flashing a lot of. Obviously, I've seen him train, I've seen him work the heavy bag, I've watched his fights, I've studied his career. He's someone that he does have good boxing skills. He is someone that does watch a lot of Terrence Crawford. He even said when I interviewed him that he's influenced by Terrence Crawford, so he can switch stances a little bit and be that switch hitting boxer. But the one thing that really stands out about this young fighter, this upcoming fighter from Japan, is his punching power, and it's been on full display this year. So he keeps the win streak going. He keeps the 4-fight knockout streak going, and he improves to 12-1, 10 KOs, and he's progressing very nicely at the age of 28. Right now as it stands, Fujita, he won 3 fights this year, all by knockout. He's the 4th ranked Japanese 140-pounder in the world. And when you look at some of the fighters in and around his weight in Japan, if you look below him at number 5, you got Naoya Inoue's cousin, Koki Inoue. He's 17-1. That's a fight I know Fujita's expressed to me that he wants to have himself, and I think that'd be a good fight for him. If you look just above him at 3, you got Akihiro Kondo, a guy that once challenged for the world title against Sergey Lipinets way back when in 2017 on the Deontay Wilder Stavern undercard. I actually thought he did enough to get the nod that fight, but that'd be a good fight for Vegeta. This guy's a veteran in the game. He's 38 now, so he's long in the tooth. He's very old. He's old now, but still a good name to have on your resume. He's 3. Number 2 is Daishi Nagata, who also trains at Misako Boxing Gym. I'm not sure if that fight can happen due to them training at the same gym, but he's number 2. And then the number one Japanese 140-pounder in the world is Andy Hiraoka, who many people believe will have a great chance to become world champion himself. So he's in a beautiful position going into 2024. And I know that, and I wanted to talk about this while I'm talking about his fight. Yeah, he gets the knockout. He has a banner year, a really good year for 2024, and 2023, I should say. And for those of you who don't know about Fujita is very close friends with former Japanese champion Keita Obara. Keita Obara. He's a guy that, for those who really know their boxing, he had a really entertaining fight earlier this year with Jin Sasaki, where he dropped Jin Sasaki. Jin Sasaki had to get up off the canvas and stop him to win the fight. So he fought him. He fought I believe he fought Walter Castillo down here in South Florida, which was a real good fight down there at the Mikasuki Resort and Gaming. So Keita Obara, very, very good Japanese fighter. He just announced his retirement a couple days ago, and that's someone that I know Fujita is very close to. And I want to reveal this to you guys about Fujita, because me and him talk on Instagram sometimes, and he's expressed to me that one fight he's very interested in making happen for the future is a fight with the guy that knocked out Keita Obara earlier this year, and that's welterweight contender Jin Sasaki. That's a fight that he feels like he's got to work harder, he's got to improve, he's definitely got to up his skills and up his experience level, and it's no disrespect. He just wants to you beat up his friend. He wants to get some get back and test his skills against one of the best fighters in and around his weight from Japan. So I just think, look, when you look at Fujita, I think first and foremost he's a very likable guy. I think marketability-wise, he's probably one of the most marketable fighters in Japan, because he's obviously a very fun fighter to watch. Can knock you out, can box a little bit, Still got room to grow. Speaks Japanese and English, so I think if he were to come to in the USA, which I know he's expressed as a big desire of his, he'd actually be able to communicate with the American fans, which I feel like, you know, as great as Naoya Inoue is, or Kenshiro, or Kosai Tanaka, these are all great talents, but they don't speak English, so their marketability is not as high as it could be. You know, same thing kind of in a sense like with Canelo. Canelo's marketability was high because he had that cult Mexican fan base, but we all know in 2021 when he started speaking English like regularly and he got comfortable, Canelo's stardom just shot through the roof. And so when I look at Fujita, he to me is, for that reason, for him being able to speak English, for his punching power, for just, you know, his whole story in boxing, I feel like he is one of the most interesting and marketable fighters from Japan. And so I'm looking forward to, you know, seeing his development in, you know, in 2024. You know, he's only got 13 pro fights, but there's a lot of substance in those 13 pro fights because he fought in the very illustrious Rookie of the Year tournament, lost in the final. So he's been tested, and after he suffered his first setback loss in the final of the Rookie of the Year tournament, he's come back and he's just been on a warpath, knocking everything out in sight. And he capped his year off this morning in Japan with a with another knockout victory to defend his Japanese title for the second time. So when I look at what could be next for him, you know, I think fights against Koki Inoue, fights against the likes of you know, potentially Akihiro Kondo, former world title challenger, potentially, you know, down the line once he gets even more experience. I mean, I know Andy Hiraoka would be a big fight for him, but ultimately, I know from talking to him, I know from talking to the man myself, that he's expressed to me that the fight to make, the fight that he really wants, one of his big fights that he wants in boxing is a fight between him and Jin Sasaki, and that to me would be an amazing fight because Jin Sasaki is a massive knockout puncher. I mean, the guy has thump in both hands. You know, there's that whole Keita Obara storyline where that's Fujita's friend. Jin Sasaki knocked him out in one of the most exciting fights of 2023. So there's definitely a storyline in that fight. And the fact that Fujita can speak English, and Jin Sasaki is going to be someone that I think will be fighting in the USA very, very soon. That could be a big fight down the road, whether it be in Japan or the USA. So, yeah, I just wanted to make a Fujita video. He actually is one of my favorite fighters to watch from Japan just because he was actually the first boxer I ever interviewed when I was in Japan. So, you know, he'll always hold a special place in my heart because when I first went to Japan, that was the first boxer I ever had any interaction with. And, you know, I could actually really communicate with them. I didn't have to go through a translator, so it's just a bit different, you know. And I'm going to work on my Japanese for this next trip, but got a lot of love for Fujita, and it's good to see him stay in the win column, stay defending that Japanese title, and just build towards a really, really important and massive 2024. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. You know, make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this video, click right here and make sure you subscribe. Much love from sunny South Florida.